Hey everyone, my name is Razip Kaur and today I am here to present about the assignment number 3 of Social Data Mining Techniques. The assignment is based on the news article sentiment analysis. This is the agenda for our today's presentation. Firstly, I'll be introducing my team and then discussing about the objective of the assignment, the tools used in the assignment, a small introduction about the assignment, then data scraping, how data scraping and data cleaning, data storage is done. Then we will perform sentiment analysis and data visualization, and at last newspaper comparison. This is our team. Komal and Caroline, they are the programmers. Then Sarah, she is the business analyst, and me, Rastik Kaur, I am the data analyst for this assignment. This is the objective of our assignment. Firstly, we will web scrape the articles from the news channels. Then we will store the data in the database and perform the sentiment analysis on the stored data. And then we will create the visualizations from on the base of the stored data. For this assignment, these are the tools we used. Firstly, we used Jupyter Notebook for the coding in the Python language. Beautiful Soup library is used to scrape and create the scrape data and create data frames. Cloud database that is used for storing the data is MongoDB. TextBlob library is used for the sentiment analysis, and NLTK library is used for the removal of stop words. Then Tableau software is used for the visualizations, and for creating the API we used Python code in the Visual Studio. So for group assignment 3, we have scraped the data from the two news agencies, that are the Guardian and the Daily Mail. Then the data that we have scraped from these two agencies, it contains the HTML tags which are cleaned using the Python codes. Then the cleaned data is saved in the form of CSV files. Then we uploaded the data to the cloud database, that is MongoDB, and the sentiment analysis is done on that cleaned data. Then using the analyzed data, we created the visuals. Now our programmer Komal will show how the web scraping, data cleaning and data storage is done. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Razdeep. Hello, Rick. Hello, everybody. This is Komal Sai here. And for this assignment, my responsibility was as a programmer, and I worked on several aspects of this particular assignment, and one of them was to get data, to get RSS feeds from the two news agencies. In order to do that, I'm going to give you a brief demonstration. Just a thing to remember is that the data we have, or the data that we are analyzing, could be slightly different from what you might see here, because we're running this code live. With that, let's run the codes together. To scrape data, we are using Beautiful Soup, so let's import the libraries. For Guardian, so this is the URL for Guardian RSS. So we can make a request. We're using Beautiful Soup to find all items, and from the items we are trying to find headline, description, link, and data. We just need those 4 basic information. So let me run that. So it says that we have about 111, it gets about 111 RSS feeds, but earlier we had 113. Anyway, so let's take a look at the feeds. So this is the latest one. Similarly, for Daily Mail, that's the URL. I can make a request and find all the items within the Daily Mail RSS feed. We just need headline, description, link, and data, date, like the Guardian. So I get about 150, and we can look at those RSS feeds here. So this is what I have. But for sentiment analysis, we have to save this in a data frame. So let's create a data frame for each RSS feed for each news agency. So that is being created. So we can check the data frame, the head. Similarly, for Daily Mail, I can create another data frame And this is what it looks like. I can save these data frames into CSV files, which I'm not going to run because I already have them in my system. Now I'm going to save these RSS feeds into my MongoDB. So at the moment, my MongoDB does not have assignment 3 or does not have the Daily Mail or the Guardian. But if I run this code, first import the libraries, make a connection, which was successful. So I'm trying to create two databases, two collections. And for each collection, I can put this information into MongoDB. For that, I just need to run this code and this line of code. And if I take you to my MongoDB and run this, I should have a new collection with assignment 3. There you go, assignment 3. And there, as discussed earlier, I have 111 for the Guardian and 150 for the Daily Mail. Now, for sentiment analysis, I pass over to my friend Carolyn. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Carolyn, and I shared some of the programming responsibilities for this assignment. So just a little disclaimer at the beginning of this video, because I'm running this code live, the data it will be pulling from the RSS feeds will be different than what was pulled and analyzed for the actual assignment that will be showed later. All right. So for conducting the sentiment analysis, we decided to use the library text blob. So this is here where we imported it, and we imported CSV. So at this point in our coding, we did not remove the stop words because removing them can potentially alter what the sentiment and polarity scores are. So we left the code as is. So we pulled in our CSV files to be analyzed, opened them, and sang for in iterating over the rows within the data frame. Specifically, we were looking at row or column 1, which would be this one here, the description. So the text blob was analyzing the text of the article's description. So here we are the coding for the polarity and subjectivity of those article descriptions and appending those results to this data array. Then next we created a data frame to hold those values of the polarity and subjectivity of the articles, and then merged these two data frames together, both of all of the articles from the Guardian and then the text blob analysis. So that's what we have here. And then again, just saving it to a CSV, a new CSV. And then it works the exact same way for the Daily Mail. All right, so for this final bit of coding, I'm not actually going to run the code just to save a bit of time, but what we've done here is merge our two data frames together for the Guardian newspaper and the Daily Mail newspaper, and we also selected the top 50 news articles from each of those Daily Mail, news agencies. So we merged those together in a data frame, and looking at the description here, what we did was remove the stop words. So we did that importing an LTK and then stop words from that particular library to remove English stop words. So that's what we did here with this new column description with a lowercase d, removing the stop words. And here we are, the result. And then we split that new column of description without stop words into the individual words. So each word is separated by a comma. Again, we save that to our final data frame with the headline, description, our polarity and subjectivity as calculated by text blob, and our description with no stop words and the words of that description. So then this was further saved in our a new RSS feed CSV, which was further analyzed, and specifically these words were used so we could create a word cloud.
Hey, this is Sarah, and I'm going to be going over the visualization aspect of our sentiment analysis. As previously mentioned in our presentation, we've used Tableau to create our dashboard with the data. So we've created the different visuals in separate tabs so that we could assemble our dashboard. So you'll see we have, a comparison chart for the Daily Mail and the Guardian's polarities. We have our scatter chart, which shows sort of a spread of like frequency and subjectivity. We've got our polarity category, comparing the article description by each news agency. We have a word cloud. It's, I guess, more of a sentence or description cloud. It's got the negative, the neutral, the positive. This is our main dashboard. We've got most of the visuals, not the word clouds though, but we did create a second dashboard for the word clouds as well. And we've also created an API using Visual Studio Code. And this is the main page I created. I had imported Flask to create an app and have it connected to my HTML code. I have images of the word clouds, which I will show you. And I've embedded the Tableau dashboard through Tableau Online. And that brings you to our Sentiment Analysis Web API. So to go to the Guardian tab here, shows the word cloud for the Guardian, and the most common word used in their articles was first and year. And we have our Daily Mail word cloud. You see the most common word was home. They talk less about COVID compared to the Guardian. You see like pandemic, health, lockdown. And this is where I've embedded the Tableau dashboard. So with this Tableau dashboard, you can also see I included the tabs. Now when we look at this polarity, you can see when you hover, it shows all the tooltips, what the polarity is. You can click, it'll show you just the Daily Mail polarities, or you can look at just the Guardian polarities. Looking at the scatter plot, as I mentioned, it shows the average subjectivity in comparison to the average polarity. So we have our bar chart for our polarity categories. So we've categorized them as negative, neutral, and positive. So essentially taking the polarities, and if it's over 0, it's considered positive. If it's under 0, it's considered negative. And if it's at 0, it's kind of neutral. So you can also interact with these as well with the tooltips and looking at specific ones, right? So this is looking at the Daily Mail. You'll see they have more positive articles. And you can look at the Guardian as well, and they also have more positive than negative. So we have our description cloud, again, filtering. You can look at the Daily Mail and check to see which specific descriptions are negative or neutral or positive. So here I've got Daily Mail selected, and we look at positive. So it makes it easier to see which the code had determined would be the positive articles. We'll look at our main dashboard again, but you'll see we can do the same thing if we want to look at the Daily Mail, but all of the previous visuals we went over, you can look at them all side by side. So you can use the drop-down menu to select, and again, they're interactive. You can select whether you want to see positive, neutral, or negative. To bring you back to our key findings, our sentiment analysis showed that the Guardian has more positive RRS feeds than the Daily Mail. The Guardian was also more subjective in its reporting, and that could be because their feeds tend to be more descriptive and their descriptions are more worded. We noticed there was more spread in the scores of the Daily Mail compared to the Guardian, and that might suggest the Guardian is more consistent with its reporting.